Howdy everyone, ArgonMatrix here, welcome to episode 3 of The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Let's see, we got one win under our belt now, so we can probably play someone other than Isaac. I think we'll give Lazarus a shot. He was the first one that we ended up unlocking. Probably not one of my more favorite characters, but he's not too bad. Starts with a pill here, just a random pill, which turned to be a Tears upgrade for us. He also has the interesting effect of, starting with an extra life up there. You can see sort of the ×1 up by our health. And that, we got Sister Maggie here, which is not the worst familiar in the world, but certainly not the best. Just kind of fires semi-decent tears, nothing too special. But that extra life comes in the form of Lazarus's rags, which basically means that when we die, we will come back on the room that we're currently in, instead of respawning in the previous room like you would with most other 1-up type items, with only one red heart container and sort of like a give it one last shot, give it everything you got kind of moment, you know? Know what I mean? Oh god, I'm actually stunned that I got out of that corner without getting hit and then just walked into an enemy that I didn't even see. But that's probably going to become par for the course in these videos, if I'm being honest. Our spirit heart has been dwindled down, unfortunately. It's one of the... I'm always so upset when I just get like a single spirit heart out of a curse room, because then I have to leave with like just half a spirit heart unless I have some means of getting out of there without walking over the door. But c'est la vie, and we'll move on here just fine. So hopefully, I'm not sure, I'm recording a lot of this in advance, but hopefully this series is getting a nice sort of reception from you guys. It is one of my favorite games to play, probably my favorite indie game, I would say. And realistically, probably one that I'm going to be playing for a long time, regardless of how people receive this or not, if I'm being honest, just to have some sort of consistent content on the channel. You know, going into 2017 here, I've really, I've let the channel slip. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to like dance around that fact too much. And I think 2017 will hopefully be something of a rejuvenating year. I'd like to think I've done decently well in 2016 towards the end of it with the Pokemon Leaf Green Nuzlocke. I was relatively consistent with that, as consistent as I could be with all the grinding I had to do and everything. In fact, at the time of recording, I still have to do some grinding for that in order to get to the second Elite Four rematch, but hopefully by the time this is out, that will all been done and said and all that jazz. You know, probably not, knowing me and my efficiency and my priorities with the recording and everything, but we'll see. This tinted rock up here, worth the shot probably. There we go. I'm always kind of on the fence about whether I should pick up a Spirit Heart on the first floor, or if I should like wait to beat the boss and then go back for the Spirit Hearts. Because the Spirit Hearts on the first floor really don't do too much for us. It's really on the second floor and beyond that you want to keep them for deal with devil purposes. We got Ragman here, who is probably, for my money, the hardest first floor boss. There are some contenders for that title. Little Horn in the previous episode was pretty... Oh, that was really bad damage. I just walked right into that. Little Horn can be kind of nasty, and also one that we haven't seen yet is the Haunt, and he can be certainly a dicey foe. I think Ragman was specifically added in Afterbirth, though, and the Haunt was from Rebirth, so I still feel a little bit more condemnation, I suppose, towards Ragman, because I haven't fully mastered him, despite having played so many hours of Afterbirth. Like, I have a pretty good handle on him, as you can see here. That bullshit right there is the main reason that I hate him so much, though. So you can respawn these rag enemies. It's a cool concept for a boss, if nothing else. I'll give it that, but it can be so annoying because he's pretty tanky in all things. Alright. But, you know, he at least gave me enough commentary to talk over his fight. We got growth hormones again here. Very good item. Let's head down to the next floor, doing pretty well. We actually, you can see up there on the top of the screen, we have a couple more floors to go than we did in our previous run, because obviously we unlocked the womb in our last run after beating Mom. Which, as gross as it might sound, honestly, this game does have its sort of gross out factor. But, ooh, holy water. I'll take it just for the completion thing, but holy water is not great. Basically, when we get hit, holy water will break and put a little like pool of holy water on the ground that damages enemies when they walk over. Basically, just another form of creep. And simultaneously there, we got an Eternal Heart, which, for those not in the know, it's you can see it kind of tied on to our red hearts up there in the corner. And basically, if we can protect that until we get to the next floor, so like as long as we protect it behind Spirit Hearts or don't take any damage on our red hearts at all, then we can take that to the next floor, and upon reaching the next floor, it will become a permanent new heart container for us. So that'd be nice. You can also complete it by getting a second half of an Eternal Heart on the same floor, which is much less common, but still not impossible by any stretch. Ooh, give me that Spirit Heart. Nice. A little bit more insurance on that Eternal Heart, and on our deal with the devil, to be frank. I'm actually not sure whether taking an Eternal Heart of damage affects your deal with the devil chances at all. I think it probably does, because I think it counts as part of the red heart pool. That was a little bit dicey there for a while. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh man, I screwed that up. I shot the TNT out too soon before the pennies had spawned in. Normally that TNT would blow the pennies out of the spike pit there, and you'd be able to pick it up. Enemy spirit cards left, right, and center here, which is actually kind of interesting, because I think Lazarus, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think he starts with a negative luck stat, and luck is the stat that determines consumable drops, so the fact that I'm getting so many here seems to be kind of counterintuitive to that fact, so maybe I'm wrong about that, but who knows. Oh, here we go. Here's the haunt that I was talking about. So the haunt and Ragman on the first two floors, a pretty tough boss haul, but we're in a relatively decent position to handle things here, I think. By the way, something I should mention that I reminded myself of with the whole luck stat talk there is that the difference between normal and hard mode is something I never really expounded upon. I just kind of said we're going to be playing on hard mode to get all the unlocks, which you do need to do. But the main difference between it is that on hard mode you get fewer consumable drops, regardless of your luck stat. And there's also more champion enemies, so those enemies that do a full heart of damage. This is just an HP upgrade, which I will not turn my nose down at. Alright, so we got 2 new items here. I will take them both, just for completion purposes. I'll probably not end up using the shovel all that much, though. Not for its intended purposes anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Pact first, which is a damage and tears up, and we also get a Spirit Heart out of it. Not too shabby by any stretch. And then the We Need to Go Deeper, which is a reusable level skip. So it's 6 charges, need to go through 6 rooms to recharge it, and it lets you skip down to the next floor of the game. So it's good if you're trying to like get a speed run done or something, or if you're just powerful enough to kind of plow through the rest of the game and you know you don't need to pick any more items. But in the situation that we're in right now, I don't think I'm going to end up using it all that often. I'll try this out. Ooh, that's actually really good. That's Steven, which is a damage upgrade. Used to be a very rare damage upgrade in Rebirth and the original Binding of Isaac, but has become substantially more common now that you can get it out of golden chests, because I think in those games you could only get it from the actual Steven boss fight, and even then it's a low percentage drop from that boss fight, I'm pretty sure. So, but there we go, we got that all sorted out, got a little sort of happy face on our head now attached. I suppose I could be using the We Need to Go Deeper just to, because there is a chance every time you use it that you'll spawn a black market or a crawl space, which are basically just little like hidden areas beneath the floor that can have special items, and you can, it's like sort of a pseudo deal with the devil if you find a black market. It's a little bit confusing, but I will take this. I don't like it very much, but I will take it. Curse of the Tower, you feel cursed. Basically what that means is whenever you take damage, on the room that you take damage, it will spawn a bunch of troll bombs, which will instantly explode. Well, not instantly, it gives you like a couple seconds to kind of find a safe place to stand, but it's certainly not ideal. But it can sort of get you out of a harrowing situation if you're lucky enough with it. Like if you're just surrounded by tough enemies and you don't have the firepower to take them down, those bombs can spawn in and kind of help you out, because they hurt the enemies as well as you. And don't worry about getting into some sort of like infinite cycle with Curse of the Tower, like where you get hit and then you blow yourself up with Curse of the Tower, which counts as taking a hit, so it activates Curse of the Tower again. It doesn't quite work that way. Any damage you take from the Curse of the Tower bombs themselves does not trigger Curse of the Tower. So Lazy Worm, I'll show it off here. It lowers your shot speed ridiculously, which might not seem good in any circumstance, and it's not good for us right now. But in very specific cases, it can actually be nice to have a lower shot speed. I'm actually going to try this here. You can sort of tell if it'll take you down to the next level if there's a ladder or not there. If there is a ladder, then that means it's a crawl space, so you can safely go down there without going to the next floor. And if there is no ladder, then it will take you down to the next floor. More often than not, it'll just take you down to the next floor, because that's how the item effectively works, but there is a small chance every time you use it that you'll get a crawl space or a black market, which I wouldn't mind showing off. They're fairly rare occurrences. You can just get them randomly from blowing up certain rocks. And there's really no indication of whether there will be a crawl space under any given rock. As far as I know anyway, I could be wrong about that. There are certain things that increase your chances, like I think one certain trinket does it. But more often than not, you will not find a crawl space or a black market on a single run. They probably show up once every, I want to say like every 5 or 6 runs. This is a really good item, so I'm going to take my chances on the spikes here. Oh god, it goes to the tower, get out of there. Infestation 2 makes it so that whenever you kill an enemy, an attack spider spawns. And that is, as you can imagine, really, really nice, especially with the attack multiplier or the damage multiplier that the spiders give you. They don't give it to your tiers, they get your tier damage multiplied by a certain amount for being attack spiders, effectively. So yeah, I think we're in a fairly decent position here. That health down didn't help matters much, but you know what, we're fine. We still got our extra life to fall back on if we need to, and I don't think we're gonna need to, honestly. Still no crawl space or anything, that's fine. That we need to go deeper can be effective if you're trying to go for the no damage on 2 consecutive floors to get either Samson or just to get the achievement for not taking damage on those 2 floors. I could go to the shop. I will check out the shop really quick, actually. Just on the off chance there's something nice for 5 cents. What there could be, I guess there could be probably maybe a bomb or something might be nice. There is a tinted rock here, actually, which I will bomb. Oh, nice, nice, and that shopkeeper actually dropped, that was a really good bomb, honestly. We got Head of the Keeper, which turns our tiers into these round penny tiers, which I think lowers our range, it seems like, almost. But it makes our tiers do a little bit more damage and also have the chance to spawn pennies when they hit an enemy, which is really nice, honestly. I'm not going to spend anything on these. I think I'm just going to go ahead and start donating because I need to get this donation machine a little bit stacked up here. I think the first milestone for it is at 10 cents, and then I think again at 50 cents, and then 100 cents. And it just sort of keeps on building up like that. We'll get there eventually, don't worry. We still have plenty of time, effectively infinite time, barring my imminent demise or the heat death of the universe, whichever comes first. Which, you know, with the advent of new medical technology, you never know which one's going to come first, honestly. It's an interesting conversation, I suppose, is like, how do you feel about immortality? Like, if immortality comes to exist within your lifetime, which, for some of you watching, and possibly even for me, that might not be too far-fetched of an idea. Like, talking about this 50 years ago would have been crazy to think about. But with advances in medical technology, we are eliminating sort of age-related death factors. So the potential for immortality, or at least extremely long life, is in the cards. It'll probably be quite expensive and something that I probably won't be able to take advantage of regardless of if it becomes available or not, because I don't anticipate becoming a millionaire or anything. But, you know, it is theoretically possible, I suppose. Do I use bombs to take this guy out? I think my damage is good enough that I don't really need to. I don't know, from my perspective, I think it would be cool to have at least maybe like 300 years of life or so. Why that number specifically, I'm not sure. It's just kind of the first one that arbitrarily popped into my head. But just, you know, like long enough to see a major extreme difference in the world, which I suppose the normal span of a human lifetime could be considered that as well. Like, if you live like 80 years, 80 to 100 years, you're probably going to see a massive amount of difference, especially with how quickly technology is progressing nowadays. You know, soon we're going to be having like self-driving cars and the whole world will be automated, and then next thing you know, paper is obsolete and no one needs to spend money anymore. We just live in a perfectly utopian society where nothing ever goes wrong under the rule of our Lord and Savior Donald Trump. But you know, maybe a bit of a pipe dream. especially that whole Donald Trump bit, but you know I'm not about to get all political in here. I suppose talking about immortality is a bit of a political issue all on its own right, so maybe I should just get back to the game here. We're doing fairly well, which is why I don't feel the need to talk about the game all that much, honestly. If I can get to the mom fights, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it on this run. I'm going a little bit too slow, I think. But something to consider is that if you can get to the mom fight and defeat mom within the first 20 minutes of the run, which is why I have the timer up top there, then you can access what's called boss rush, which is where you fight several waves of bosses in a row, and you pick up effectively 2 items. Bad trip, that's kind of nasty. It's actually pretty nasty, honestly. Yeah, you pick up 1 item at the start of boss rush, and then you defeat all the bosses, and you get a 2nd item at the end if you survive to the end, which can be a little rough going sometimes, but usually isn't the hardest thing to do in the world. And it is something that we will have to accomplish on every character at some point or another. Justice gives us 1 of each consumable here. Gonna go ahead and donate a little more. We got a blue map, which is our first milestone on the donation machine, so that is possible to be bought in the shop now if we come across it. Donation machine still hasn't broken down for this floor, so I'm a fan of that. I'm gonna bank that my treasure room is up. Oh god, Curse of the Tower, I forgot about that. Is up here. Nope, this is just envy. Oh, envy. Here I am talking about boss rush, and then you're sitting in here ready to make me weep for my timer. Although, there we go, we did pretty well. I will take Shoop to Whoop, because I'm obviously not using the shovel all that often. And Shoop to Whoop is a nice sort of, it's effectively Brimstone every 2 rooms, just one, it doesn't give you the Brimstone tiers, but it gives you like 1 shot of Brimstone like that. And I think it's a fairly powerful laser too. It didn't used to be. It used to be like very, very weak compared to your tiers and compared to the amount of charges that you needed. But now it's actually usually worth taking. It's one of the better spacebar items I find. There we go. I imagine the boss is somewhere at the end here, which means I need to go back for my treasure room. Because I don't think... Because I'd have to conquer the next 2 floors in 5 minutes or less. I suppose I could theoretically take the level skip and skip the next floor in order to try and get to boss rush, but I don't think that's necessarily advisable because while I may be in an offensively great position, my defense does leave a little bit to be desired, and I don't think I can handle boss rush even as I am with that little HP. So I'm going to stick it out with Shoop to Whoop for now and just go and find this treasure room. We'll have plenty of opportunities to get through to boss rush in future runs, obviously. The run's much more powerful than this little Loki. It's always nice. 2nd time in 2 runs, which is kind of funny because I rarely ever see this guy in my normal playthroughs of the game. My 1001% file. All right, so let's see who our boss is going to be here. Maybe we'll get a new face to see. Because I think we do have to beat... Oh, God. That was really dumb, honestly. All right, can I walk through here? There we go. Alright. Like I said, I'm still in a fairly dicey position, even if my damage is pretty significant here. I do have that extra life to fall back on, and that extra life in the form of Lazarus' Rags doesn't only bring you back, it brings you back with, I think, a small damage upgrade. This is nice, a damage and HP upgrade. As well as a speed and luck upgrade, I think. I am going to... Oh god, this is going to be a little tough. Alright. This is tough because that's Guppy's tail that I just got, and this is Guppy's head, which I also want, but the spikes are going to make it a little nasty. I'm probably going to die from this because it's a spacebar item, and I'll swap it out, and then I'll get pushed because you'll see. I'll give it a shot here. No, I died. Okay, well, we've got Lazarus' Rags backing us up, like I said, so that's fine. And then I'll walk on out of here. Basically, what Guppy's head does is it spawns attack flies for us, but more importantly, it is our 2nd step towards the Guppy transformation, so kind of living on the edge right now, which has become sort of a theme of the first couple of runs of this so far. It's not something I normally like to do. I normally like to play it more safe, but I think it's probably more entertaining this way, if nothing else, to see this sort of play style. These guys are being major assholes. Oh god, I thought he was about to run into me, and that was a champion enemy, so he would do a full heart. Thankfully got out of that situation without too much pain. Oh, these guys are the worst. Might spend some bombs trying to blow up these skulls, because they can have black hearts in them, which would be a very welcome addition to my build right now. Let's see. No, just one of these turret enemies. These host enemies, I think they're called. Nothing, man. Alright, well. I mean, the odds of finding a black heart inside of a skull are not extraordinary, I don't think. I think you're most likely to find a host, and then second most likely to find some kind of card, and then third most likely is probably the black hearts. But you never know. It's not exceptionally rare. Try again here. I just really need some more survivability. I can't take that on. It's too risky. Lord knows what's going to be in that sack. It could just be like 2 pennies or something. I mean, yes, usually the sacks are better than just 2 pennies, but it could be, and that's the potential worry. I like this room because I can knock these guys back into the spikes, and that does most of the damage for me, honestly. Uh-oh. Okay. This is a little dicey. Alright, not so bad. Open this up. I will take safety cap because I don't have any other trinket right now. Makes pills more likely to spawn, I believe. Oh god, these brimstone spiders. Can you not, please? Alright. Oh, there we go. That's the spirit heart that we wanted. Now I feel infinitely more safe, having effectively doubled my health. At the very least means that champion enemies can't one-shot me anymore. By the way, we're like Lord of the Spiders all of a sudden. That's the magic of Infestation 2, I suppose. But just look at all these attack spiders and these flies. If I can stop in at a shop and pick up Hive Mind at some point, which makes our spiders and flies do more damage, then I would be all for that. Here we have Rainbow Baby, who shoots random, like tiers with random effects, like a split shot or fear or homing or something like that. Ooh, that is the shop there. I'm gonna make a run for it. And we got Greed. It's kind of what I expected because we hadn't seen him yet. Alright, there we go. We did get Steam set out of it, so on the next floor, if nothing else, hopefully we'll be able to get some use out of it. One makes you small, just makes our character a little smaller, which is nice for the reduced hitbox size, but take too many of those and you could find yourself in a bit of a mousetrap scenario where you just can't see your character. Alright, there's a wall master coming down somewhere here, yeah. Oh, another one too. There we go. Fun little fact about Rainbow Babies, I think in the original Binding of Isaac, it was sort of like the ultimate reward, because like the hardest character to play in the original Binding of Isaac was Blue Baby. It was like the sort of like secret character akin to some other characters that they've newly introduced in Afterbirth and Rebirth that I'm not going to talk about just yet, because obviously they're secret for the time being. But Blue Baby was sort of, I guess he's sort of still a little bit of a secret character in this game, but most people who have at least some passing knowledge of the Binding of Isaac will know about him. And I think like the hardest, like the last unlock you got for beating everything as Blue Baby was Rainbow Baby, which was not honestly that great of a reward as you can imagine. Oh, here we go. Time to get our revenge on the gate for terminating our first run early here. He was the one who killed us in our initial run in episode 1. And now he is gone. Easy as that. See, really not so bad. Mr. Dollar gives us a range and tears up, as well as an assortment of random hearts, which usually turns out to be pretty nice. And let's head on down. This next floor here. Alright, so hopefully in our shop on this floor we don't get super greed or anything. That'd be nice. If we do, then we can always come back to the arcade and gamble for some potential effectiveness there. What do we got in here? Just a normal chest? Yeah. I'll pass on that. I've got 37 cents now. I actually might want to not buy anything at the shop and just save up this money, because one of the characters, I'm going to pass on Bob's Brain for right now. We have enough damage to not have to really worry about needing that. Emergency Contact brings down wall masters on top of our enemies to hold them in place. Yeah, but like I was saying, Tammy's Head I'll pass on for now. I really like Guppies Head, honestly. It's one of my more favorite spacebar items, and I'm not even sure entirely why. But like I'm trying to say, my goodness, if I can just get these words out, there is a character in the form of Kane who we unlock by having 55 cents on a run at the same time, so probably going to try and go for that if I can, because this Head of the Keeper is going to make that quite easily doable, I imagine, over the next 3 floors that we still have to do. Alright, these guys are nasty because with the Isaac's face on the back of their head, they're actually a little faster. For whatever reason, I'm not even sure. Alright, probably not worth it. You're more likely to probably need, I'm gonna say keys are usually more valuable than bombs. So unless you have a vast amount of keys that you need to get rid of or something. I'll take number 1. Tears up for a significant range downgrade. Which doesn't seem to affect us that bad because we apparently had some pretty good range going into that. Which I wasn't aware of. I actually thought we had pretty bad range, but I guess they got upgraded with Mr. Dolly on the previous floor. So egg on my face, I guess. Didn't mean to do that, but no skin off my scrot. Because it was a waste of key, obviously, but keys, like I said, they're more valuable than bombs, but on the latter floors of this game, especially after the depths and beyond, they become significantly less valuable, just because there are no more treasure rooms or shops on any floors beyond the depths. So on the next 2 womb floors, there's going to be no treasure rooms or shops. There might be like some golden chests, especially with Guppy's tail on our person. And there might be various other rooms that require keys, but in general, you're not going to have to rely on having keys. Damn it. Curse of the Tower screwed me a little bit there. Okay, ooh, we could get some nice benefits out of these fires, though. Can I get more than 1? No, 1's all I get this time. That's fine, that's fine. Piggy Bank, I think immediately gives us 5 cents when we pick it up, so it effectively only costs 2 cents here. And also, and I believe it also makes it so we drop money when we get hit, so like we can get extra cents just by getting hit. I will take that. It gave us 3 cents, so it was only a 4-cent item, still not that bad. I'll take that just for the potential of extra money to get towards our Kane unlock, as well as just for the item completion, because we are going to have to end up picking up every single item in the game in order to unlock everything here, in order to unlock 1001% on this file. Which I don't think that in itself unlocks any new items, 1001%, but it's something it's just sort of a badge of honor, something you need to strive for. That's how you know when you've effectively literally done everything in the game there is, because there's so many secrets in this game to try and take care of that it can be a little tough keeping track of all of them. Okay, let's not die here, though. We got Cat of Nine Tails, which is a shot speed and damage upgrade. Totally fine by me. And we got to deal with the Devil as well, which we may or may not be able to take advantage of here. That is Goat's Head, and we got a Wall Master in here. I would love to have Goat Head, but obviously I can't take it without dying. And I don't have my Lazarus's rags backing me up anymore, so we're going down to the womb with a single red heart. Certainly not ideal, especially because in the womb floors and beyond, all enemies, regardless of whether they're champions or not, do 1 heart of damage. So there's that. Yeah, let's just try to be careful here, I suppose. I don't know if that emergency contact play was necessarily the best thing in the world, but I feel like I felt in danger in that room. Okay, here's sort of a mirror. Actually, we can just walk up and let our spatters and flies handle this guy, because basically he just fires every single time that you fire. Just deal with these guys. Gotten fairly easy rooms so far. Speed upgrade might or might not be of some use here. There we go. Can I get like a health upgrade? That would be the nicest thing. One make you small. I'm not going to take that for right now, just because I'm already fairly small as it is. And I don't... Oh gosh. Okay, I thought he was gonna... I was fairly sure we were gonna take him down before he got to me, but it was still a little dicey. They're fairly small. Oh god, well... I guess that's that. Did we even unlock anything on that run? I don't think so. That was nasty. Our spiders and flies just did me dirty there at the end by killing everything in my immediate vicinity. Oh well, you know... That's life. So we're sitting pretty at a 0 win streak now. Not the greatest thing in the world, but like I said, I am pretty bad at this game, and now I'm just getting all flustered because I didn't expect to die there, but it is what it is. Next time, we will try out a different character, possibly, maybe a Zazel or Samson. But for the time being, thank you everyone for watching. Feel free to like and comment down below. It really helps me out if you do those, and subscribe if you want to see more Isaac content in the future or any other series that I come out with. But for now, this is ArgonMatrix signing out. Thank you and good night.